Well, during the early years, when I came here, we were in a tough conference. At that time, it was tough. Now, if you took it today, it wouldn't be quite that way because of things have changed. But we were in a conference with 5 Gary schools, 2 East Chicago schools, 2 Hammond schools, and Hobart. And it was the leading conference in the state probably at that time. Although we weren't in a conference with Michigan City, East Chicago, Washington, and Michigan City were the 2 rivals that developed with us. And we had some good players, but we didn't have depth. We didn't have enough good players. And we had Doling and Connors and Jankowski and Kriegers and Gabbards and Barthol's and a few of those that were good players. But like Ciciora said, the difference is really when you have a 5th, 6th, 7th man that can come in and score and do a good job. We didn't have that. We had 2 or 3. And then we finally developed a ball club that had 5 or 6 good players. Any of them could score 20 on a given night. That turned the ball club around and started our school off to a winning season, or seasons, I should say. Yeah. And we had Dale Gott and Scotty Ward and Butch Jones, and we had a lad coming up named Worstell, John Worstell. And there's a story with John Worstell. When he was a senior in high school, he was a very fine player. And after his senior season, they were getting ready for a party out at the lake at I think it was a junior prom party, something like that. And so John went out in the afternoon and lit a fire in the fireplace. When they went back that night for the party, he decided that the fire wasn't going, and so he picked up a can of paint, I think it was paint fluid, paint thinner, and he threw it on the fire, and of course the fire came right up the can, exploded the back of the can off, and he was totally enveloped in flame. Started for the door. Later he said he was going to the pool. But we had 2 players, John Flynn and Bob Harding, knocked him to the floor and wrapped their leather jackets around him and put out the fire. And then he was in the hospital for months and months recovering. And then when he went to Purdue on a scholarship, he was not able to play at the level that he had before. Reminded you a lot of Rob Hummel. Same height, same style, same type of player. Rob maybe is a little better player, a little quicker than John was. But and John was the first player I ever had that dunked a ball in a ball game.
Really?
And, yeah, and so that was kind of an exciting thing for us. We were playing a team out of Chicago, and it was a high-scoring game, and the gym was packed, and everybody's excited. And when he dunked that ball, that gym exploded. So John Worstell is still here in town, and last I heard he was running a real estate business down on Lincoln Way. Yep. We had a lad called Ken Jankowski and Chuck Grieger, and they played close to the basket. We had, through the years, we had a lot of good rebounders that we did not permit to get away from the basket. Today they would have a tough time playing unless they changed their game, because like last night I saw Purdue play, and their 5 players are all over the court all the time, and the same way with Valpo High now. But in those days, it was more set patterns, and we would take the big players like Tom Hampson and Krieger, Bert Inslee, and some of those, and we would do what we called hide them. And their job was to rebound and stay. We always told them to stay close enough they could touch the basket. And that's the way we used those players. I think that one of the things we're most proud of is that every player who went to college graduated. And that was 57 of them. We always told our players, if you can make the starting 5 by the time you're a senior, then we guarantee you we'll get you a scholarship. And we did. We got 57 players scholarships. We had one lad who didn't go to college, and his name was Mick Simeon. And Mick didn't want to go to college. He worked for Urschel Laboratory, and so he wanted to stay there and work. And I told him, I said, Mick, if you don't go to college, you'll never amount to anything. Well, he stayed at Urschel Laboratory, and when he retired, he was general manager of the plant. So college education isn't always the most important criteria. But he was the only lad that did not go to college. We had 57 out of 58 of them graduate from college.